In this video, I'm gonna be showing you my exact process on how I would start, grow, and then exit an ecom brand. So this is super high level stuff. It's the exact process that we use here at thebusinessbuilders.com to build around 60 ecom brands and sell them to people that are looking to transition out of the 9 to 5, okay? So in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly my process. So I'm gonna keep this like nice and simple, 7 simple steps. So the first thing is finding a product. Now, what I do to find products is I go to a software called Color Data or PP Ads, and what I'm looking for products that have recently blown up in the last 30 days. So I'm looking for products that have gone from like 0 revenue all the way through to $1,000 a day. What I would do is I then create a list of those products. Now, what we do at the Business Builders, we test around 90 products every single month. So we're finding that every 1 in 6 products that we test is good, okay? So that's what we do. We would create a list of 100 products. If you're watching this video and you're gonna follow this exact process, what I would do is I would find, basically around 30 products. 30 products will be just fine to find you a few winning products, okay? So 30 products right here, and then from here, I would then proceed to building a store. Now, what I would do is with those list of those 30 products, okay, I would run their profitability, okay? So what I would do is I'll put in their sell price, which is in Color Data. Then from there, I would go through and go to a software called Send from China, the calculator, shipping calculator. Now, it's just gonna give you, shipping rates. I would then put in the weight of the product, okay? And ChatGPT will give that to you. Then from there, I would then go over and identify exactly how much it's gonna cost for the goods of the product, okay? So I would go then to Alibaba, and I would take a photo of that product, I'd upload it onto Alibaba so I can get my cost of goods. What I'm doing here in this part of the process is I'm basically identifying whether this product is gonna be profitable to run, okay? So I'm gonna, number 1, identify our sale price, identify how much it's gonna cost us to produce the product directly from suppliers. I'm then gonna go over to Send from China calculator to identify how much it's gonna cost us to ship the product directly to a customer. And then lastly, we're gonna have to identify how much it's gonna cost us to get a customer. All right, so cost of advertising. So let's assume $20 for that. We'll give a static $20. So let's say, for example, the product costs $100. It's selling in Color Data for $100, okay? It cost us $20 on Alibaba to get the product in, okay, to buy the product. Then it cost us $20 to get a customer. Then it costs us $20 to ship out to the customer, right? So that's $60. That means we're gonna have approximate $40 profit. Now, what you're gonna find is not all products are gonna fit that criteria. It's not gonna be profitable. Any products under 20% profit margin, just kill it, delete it, and keep going. We want a list of 30 good ones, okay? So pause the video, go back, make sure you got that right, okay? So by the end of this first task, we wanna make sure that we have a list of 30 products, okay, that are looking like a rough 30% profit margin. All right, step 2, we wanna build a store. Now, what I do is I build on Shopify. Now, it's got a really simple dashboard. It's got a really simple way of, setting up the store front. Just keep it nice and simple, don't overcomplicate it, okay? So that's the second thing. Then from there, what I normally do is I normally drop ship the product for the first 30 to 60 days, okay? Now, I drop ship first because if you buy stock first and then you go to send out, start advertising the product, you might not be able to acquire customers profitably. And so what have you done, right? You've bought stock before you can even sell it, okay? So you need to have a product that people want, but also need to know how to get people in front of that product to buy. So before I even go to, sourcing the product, which is in step 6, I just drop ship it first. Low commitment, low responsibility, less things to do. You can launch within 3 days if you do it this way, okay? So when I first started my first businesses, we bought mailer bags, shopping bags, and they were like pretty decent products actually. I think it would have been a pretty good business, but what did I do? I just sourced the product and then I just gave up on the business, which is so dumb. But when you're starting a business, you make heaps of mistakes. Avoid those, okay? So I've got my list of 30 products. I've built my simple store on Shopify. I'm gonna drop ship first, okay? I normally use a software called Zendrop or AliExpress, whatever's gonna get me by. I just wanna see whether we can get customers profitably. This is the most important thing of any business. If you can't get customers, you don't have a business, okay? Forget the packaging design. I know that's what you're thinking. Forget it, it doesn't exist yet. You wanna make sure you can acquire customers profitably. The next thing is we launch ads. What I do is I launch on Meta, okay? And this allows me to then be able to see whether I can get customers. So I'm just drop shipping it. So if it doesn't work, I move on. Now just remember, here at the Business Builders, we're testing around, every 30 products, we might have, 5 winners or so. So every 6 products we test, we get 1 winner, okay? So out of, about 30 products, we might have, around, a fair few, the data is gonna be a little bit skewed at 30. So if you're not finding enough winners at 30, expand it to 50 or 100, okay? So my recommendation to you is to start with 30 and you might have to keep testing. I launch ads on Meta. That allows me to basically acquire customers very quickly, see which products are gonna win. Then from there, after I've tested about 30 to 50 products, I'm gonna have some winners that I can use, okay? That's when I proceed to sourcing. So what I would do is I would go onto Alibaba, and I'm looking for verified suppliers that have been around for 5 years. So remember that, avoid anyone else. Verified suppliers. You're gonna be paying way too much money elsewhere, okay? So if you go onto the platform, you might also find what's called like middlemen. They're gonna just be putting a 30% margin. So you're paying an extra 30% for free. You shouldn't be doing that, okay? So what I recommend doing is uploading a photo on Alibaba of that product. When you upload the photo on Alibaba of the product, it's gonna give you all of the suppliers. Look for suppliers that have been around for 5 years in business that are verified, all right? And that's gonna give you the best chance of getting good quality suppliers. What I do is I normally get them to send me photos, pricing, MOQ, which is minimum order quantities. And then on top of that, we also wanna make sure that they've got good packaging, okay? So some suppliers will give you like the most ugly packaging. Other suppliers will have like nice packaging that kind of has like a bit of an Apple feel and it's shrink wrapped, looks like something you would legitimately buy. So I've noticed that the 2 suppliers, they don't charge extra for it. It's just some hold themselves to a high standard. So, get photos of the packaging. If it's a complicated product, get them to send you videos of them using the product. We recently started the process of sourcing a lawn sweeper. You basically just like run it and it just like collects the dirt and stuff like that. And so we were researching, and eventually we came past the manufacturer of all the big brands. And I was like, this is exactly who we want. And they even sent me photos of all the brands that they're selling to. And I'm like, exactly what I wanted. So take that time, get them to send you packaging and all that kind of stuff. The next thing is scale. So in this part of your process, you would have already known that you can get customers profitably. So once you've been dropshipping, you keep the ads on. I don't know why, sometimes I would turn the ads off, it's stupid. I keep the ads on, keep them running, okay? Make sure that you're profitable, all right? Launch those ads and keep them running when you're dropshipping. When you're doing that sourcing process, okay, keep the ads running while you're doing the sourcing process. So then, when you source your own product, you can just swap over the inventory and then you can start drop shipping, go from drop shipping to actually using your own product. You become an official brand, okay? Then from there, once you've started to source your own product, make sure you got your branding nicely tight. So, your initial testing brand might have been like a general domain, but now you might want to become a bit more tailored. For example, you look at guitar brands like Gibson guitars, all those different types of products. We're recently designing a camera brand, so we're calling them Watchmen. So like, you want a clean, crisp name, something that's nice and easy to remember. So if you need to rebrand, do that process. And then from here, what you want to do is you want to scale up your advertising. So the way that we scale is two ways, very simple, okay? Produce more ads and spend more on your ads. Now, if you do one without the other, you're not gonna make more money, okay? So if you produce all these ads but keep spending $50 a day, you're only gonna be able to produce so much revenue. But if you only increase your budget, which is a lot easier to click like 50, 100, 150. When you keep increasing your budget, but then you don't create many more ads, then you're gonna get what's called ad fatigue, where too many people are gonna see your ads and then your return on investment is gonna go down and you're not gonna be able to exit your brand, okay? So what you wanna do is you wanna make sure that you increase the amount of content that you produce, ads that you produce and upload it onto the platform, like Meta. And then you also wanna make sure you're increasing your budget. That's proportional, okay? So do them at the same time. Okay, once you're at $1,000 a day, you're gonna be around $300 profit, on average. This is what we target for our customers. And then over basically the entire month, you might be at 9K profit, okay? So at 9K profit, you can exit the brand. Now, a brand with no social media presence, with no clear long track record, like over 5 years, it's gonna be really hard to exit for a high multiple, So if you're exiting with just profit, no social media presence, clean financials, but only running on meta ads, there's certain risks involved with the business for the future buyer. So they're gonna be basically expecting a lower multiple, more like 2x, okay? So for example, if the business is making 100K profit a year, then you're gonna be able to sell it for 200K, okay? But if you do more, if you work on the business more, like for example, you get subscriptions, okay? You've got a high return rate, you've got a big social media presence, you might be able to sell for 3 times, okay? So the extra work that you put in, you might be able to go from selling it for 100K, so 200K, sorry, to 300K or 400K, depending on how desirable the business is. The more clearer you make the business and the safer you make it for a future buyer, the more it's gonna sell for. If you've got a marketing agency doing all your marketing, you've got teams in standard operating procedures, you're gonna be able to command a higher multiple, okay? So it's all about making the business safer for the future buyer. This entire process of exiting can take you 2 to 3 years, okay? If you're looking to exit very quickly, then you can sell the business within 3 months or 2 days, like we sold our first business for. But the reality is that you're gonna be commanding a very low multiple. You could command a lot higher of a multiple if you sell and you prepare it for sale a lot more, okay? So I hope that's been helpful. This is my entire process on how I start, grow and exit an e-com brand. You find products, you build a store, drop ship at first, launch your ads. Once you've got a winning product, okay, you then proceed to sourcing it, and then you can scale it to 1,000 a day, and then you can sell it for 200K if you want it, or you can just cash flow it, okay? So that's my entire process. If you found this video helpful, like and subscribe. But if you're looking for more information, you want to know exactly how I find winning products and how we create 60 businesses with those winning products, I'll encourage you to click the link below. I've got a free course. I don't even think you even need to log in. You barely need to put in your email address. You can log in, get access to the course, and it gives you spreadsheets and a lot of bonuses. So click the link below and I'll see you there.